Okay, today we are going to start our geometry unit. And we are going to start off with the basic building blocks of two-dimensional shapes. So, two-dimensional means it has length and it has width. Length and width, but it does not have height. No, wait a minute. Length and height, but maybe not width. I don't know. Anyway, it's got two of the dimensions, but not the third. So it's a flat figure. A lot of times you'll see these called plane figures, not like, oh, that's plain and simple, but like plane, like it exists on a plane. Okay, a flat plane of existence. So they're called plane figures rather than spatial or space figures. 3D figures are the ones that take up space in the real world. These are flat. All right, so we have a point. A point is an exact location in space. One little point in space. One exact location is a point. And we represent it with a dot, and usually we name the dot with a letter. A line is a straight path of points. So if I take a bunch of points and put them right side by side in a straight row and then connect them, that would be a line. A line goes on and on and on forever in both directions, and it never ever stops. The way that we show that it is a line going on forever are these arrows on either side. The arrows represent the fact that this line goes on and on and on forever and will never ever stop.
Oh, that's what was on our quiz.
You probably saw this on map test.
Yes.
But a line goes on and on forever and it never stops. We name a line with two letters. So you pick 2 points on the line, and then we name it with 2 letters. Which 2 letters it's named by doesn't really matter. It's usually whatever the book has in there. Like, for example, this one has C and D. But if you were drawing a line and you wanted to label it, you could pick whatever 2 letters you want. All right, a line segment. So imagine if I took that line and I just took a chunk out of it. I just took a chunk out of it. That would be a line segment. So a line segment is a part of a line. It's a piece of that line. It's going to include 2 end points. So you remember how a line goes on and on and on and doesn't end? A line segment starts and ends. So it's just a piece of a line. So it has a starting point and an ending point. And both of those are represented by a letter. Doesn't matter what order you put the letters in. Line segment FG is the same as line segment GF. Doesn't matter which letter comes first. It's the same line segment. Okay? Now, a ray is part of a line that has one end point, but then goes on and on and on forever in the other direction. So a ray is going to have a dot at one end and an arrow at the other. The side with the arrow is the side that goes on and on and on forever. The side with the dot, that's the starting or ending point. And we label it with 2 letters, one at the starting point, one at the arrow. And when you label it here, you need to make sure that your arrow side is with the same letter that has the arrow. All right, here's some examples. If I were to draw and label a ray PQ, I know that this is a ray because it has a starting point and an arrow. So I would draw a straight line that has a start point on one end and an arrow at the other. If I were to draw and label a line segment AB, I would need 2 endpoints. Let's look at number 1. This says name the figure shown and write how to say the name. So first of all, I notice it's got 2 arrows, one on each side. So it has 2 arrows, one on each side. So what does that tell me? Is it a line segment? Is it a point? Is it a ray? Is it a line? Do we know if it has an arrow on each side?
If it has an arrow on each side, Then it's a line.
It's a line. So this is going to be line, that looks
Because
terrible,
she's going forever.
WX. So that's, oh my word. Oh, smart board, please. I'm supposed to say line WX, but the smart board is doing its thing. Like always. So, line WX is how we would say it. Oh, that's nice. But how would we write the name of this line segment? Or line, not line segment. I'm sorry. How would we write the name of this line? Let me show you how you would write that. You would say W, oh my goodness, X, because those are the letters. And then you would draw a straight line on top of it with an arrow on each end. And of course, there we go, sort of. So you write both letters. That's supposed to look like a WX, although it absolutely does not. And
It kind of does.
sort of. And then you put a line over it.
That's 2A. I think it does.
Number 2 says, draw and label 2 points, A and B, on the line. So, point A, point, that's the most terrible point I've ever seen. Point B. Or not. Wow, just rude.
And
Download, please. Yeah, we'll save it. Why not? We're not gonna. We just not. Yeah, I already told you that. Thank you. Isn't that great? All right, back to this. Even though it erased all my ugly writing. So here's point A,
it's working.
sort of.
Huh? Yes. Nope. Never mind. Take that back. Try your fingers.
Nope. But that is supposed to be a point B right there.
Try go.
I'm just gonna get a dry erase marker because my patience is gone.
Oh.
Point A, point B.
Oh. Wow. It looks like it wants to work with you.
It hates me. And the feeling is mutual, let me assure you.
It's really nice. I don't think it's not. It looks
Okay.
like.
Well,
Imagine if Miss Whitson comes in here and she touch it.
and it'd be magically perfect. Yeah, that probably happened.
Miss Whitson got the magic touch.
She does.
She does.
All right. Draw and label line YZ. How do I know that that is a line? Because above the letters, there's an arrow on each side.
Oh my god.
Line Y
Use the screen like that.
Z.
Yeah, you could.
Now I could.
So it doesn't-
All right, line YZ. And what is another name for line YZ?
ZY.
Yep. I could just put them in the other order.
Is community good.
ZY, because it doesn't matter what order your letters come in.
Try to pitch it. Oh, no, it has a line.
Okay?
Magic touch.
No. But we're not going to stop there today with points, lines, line segments, and rays.
I got you.
We are also, it's done.
There's more.
I'll get it. I'll erase it. It's okay.
You need to go to the nurse.
Okay. Go ahead, baby. Go to the bathroom or to the nurse, honey.
Just go to the nurse.
Yep, just go ahead, baby.
We'll wait. Or you can it's going to be a video.
disinfectant. All right. Y'all, we're still recording. Okay, so we were talking about lines, points, rays, and line segments are the basic building blocks. And now we're going to move into angles.
Oh, I was doing that math test.
Yes, a lot of y'all were. All right.
I would get like obtuse angles
Mhm.
and what?
So an angle is formed when two rays or two line segments have a common endpoint.
I was always bad at these.
So, do you see how we have a ray here? Come back. And then we have a ray here. And they share the endpoint. Do you see how they both share letter B?
Yeah.
So that is called the vertex. The point where they share, the common endpoint, is the vertex. The rays or line segments are the sides of that angle. So here I have angle A, B, C, or I could call this angle C, B, A, or I could just call it angle B, because the most important part of the angle is the vertex, the common endpoint.
I see this on the test.
Yes, the map test, probably.
I didn't know what it was, so I just.
You did the best you could. That's fine. But your common endpoint is your vertex, and here it is B. Do you see how when they named this, they named it A, B, C, and then they named it C, B, A? What has to stay in the middle?
B.
B, because that's the vertex. That is the middle of that angle. Okay, Molly? To where? Did you need to? Did you need to? Have you been to Miss Riley this morning? Oh yeah, you'll need to go to Miss Riley then. All right. So we have actually there's yeah, we'll go with these. There are four main types of angles. We have a right angle. We may have a straight angle. Those are theirs. We may have an acute angle, or we may have an obtuse angle.
Obtuse?
So a right angle looks like the letter L. It forms a perfect 90-degree angle. It's going to look like the corner of a book or the corner of a door, but it is a perfect right angle.
Can I show you what a 45 degrees?
If it is 91 degrees, it's not a right angle.
That one is 45 degrees.
If it is 89 degrees, it is not a right angle. It has to be exactly 90 degrees. A straight line, we call that a straight angle. So a straight line is a straight angle. All right? And a straight angle, oh, by the way, this is 90 degrees.
Yeah. And then
And this is 180 degrees. A straight angle is always 180 degrees. Always. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I do know why, but it is.
All the way up there is 45 degrees.
Roughly.
So-
We don't know exact because we haven't measured it, but roughly it looks about 45.
So-
About half of 90. Yeah, I would agree.
So, a straight line is 180 degrees.
Yep. Always.
Why is it degrees?
That's just the unit that we measure angles in. I'll show y'all a protractor tomorrow, and that'll help it to make a little more sense.
Everyone knows what, the word 90 degrees, but almost no one knows, what the angle it is.
I do. My dad.
All right.
I know it.
So let's say that we have an angle that is open less than 90 degrees. If it is smaller than 90 degrees or open less than 90 degrees, that's a cute little angle. It's Such a cute little angle because they're little and cute.
So,
They're a cute little angle.
what?
A cute angle. If they're open less than 90 degrees, that's a cute little angle.
That's what it's called.
It's a cute.
A cute.
A cute.
And a cute little angle.
I'll cut you.
A cut you.
And then, if it is open bigger than 90 degrees, way open wide, that's an obtuse angle. Obtuse, because it's big.
What's up? Two.
Wide open, bigger than 90 degrees.
Two.
Okay?
What's 90 degrees?
A right angle. It is a right angle.
Straight cut.
It's just a right angle.
That whiteboard.
All right, so let's look at number 1. This is telling me to write a name for the angle and to classify it. So to write a name for the angle, I'm going to start off by drawing kind of like a little angle symbol. And then I need to name the 3 letters. But I have to make sure that I keep one letter in the middle. So I got to make sure that I'm keeping one specific letter in the middle. Which letter do I have to keep in the middle? U. So I could name that. I could even just name this angle U if I wanted to.
What?
Angle UT.
You can name it just based on the vertex if you want to. Or we could name this angle T U V.
Or angle UTV.
I could. I couldn't put UTV, but I could put VUT.
E2.
Because the U has to stay in the middle. Now, what type of angle is this? Remember, there are 4 main types of angles. What type of angle is this? Is this a right angle, a straight angle, an acute angle, or an obtuse angle?
Oh, that one?
Acute angle.
Acute, because it's a cute little angle. It is less than 90 degrees.
Yeah, freeze it.
Now, how about this angle? I need to name it.
It's obtuse.
It's a fin.
So I need to name it angle X, Y, Z, or ZYX, or just angle Y. And you see how it's open farther than a corner?
Obtuse angle.
That would make it obtuse, yes.
Obtuse.
Obtuse.
Then you is about.
All right.
Yeah.
So today, we are going to be practicing points, lines, line segments, and rays. We will also be practicing angles, obtuse, acute, right, and straight angles.
I have a question for
All right, go ahead.
So you know, like those. This is actually a question about like what we're doing.
Okay,
This might sound like it.
okay.
But it's definitely kind of.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So you know those things on YouTube videos how they just like when they're pretend they're thinking, they just throw a bunch of like math problems at them.
Yes.
Well, that's literally what it looks like because it looks like that, like long division, that's literally.
All of our posters that we have up, yeah. All right, so we are going to be practicing with the basic building blocks of geometry today.